Greetings, it's the 28th of August 2025. My name's Andrew Michael Hopgood, giving a presentation, some thoughts, some observations, some reasoning, trying to expose some political games and machinations that are played around the subject of benefit claims and being signed off with incapacity or long-term chronic illness or sickness, with all the degrees, all the variations of why people may be unable to work. Of course, you can't tar everyone with the same brush, and I haven't got a full knowledge of every single reason, every single motive or every single case, but I have some insight and experience from my own life. So I'm a passenger in the vehicle, observing out the window. I'm not a backseat driver or an armchair critic. They're the sort of people I'd like to silence, especially those on the media who come out of their sharp opinions and serve in this political machination and puppet theatre on the left hand and on the right. So I just want to give some thoughts on how they whip, victimise genuine people. And perhaps in some cases, well, definitely in some cases, they help the wrong people and play out this dialect. And there's people who are advised and sent to get professional help, and there is none help when they get there. And what they suffer is never acknowledged or officially certified, whereas other people with no reason seem to get all the help. So I want to consider, just to share a few thoughts to perhaps consider what's going on and what I've experienced in my own life, not only for myself but other people. But let other people speak for themselves and their experience. I'm just giving my experience. Briefly, not in great detail, but just some observations. GPs have a respect for professional doctors. But I just want to perhaps clarify some understanding about the N.H.S and GP practices. A lot of good, great, independent professionals who, no doubt, help a lot of people, make a lot of good judgments, have good discernment, medical knowledge and skill, and have a good bedside manner. And then you've got those who are not so good. It's all depending on the individual, where they were trained, what they believe in. So it's so diverse in the sort of service you get, but the general practice is, in all accounts, should be good and fair, but it's not. And then you get the two-faced people and double standards, and one group of people will get one service from the same doctor, and another percentage of their clientele get a completely different experience. So it asks the question, well, what's going on here? How come all these people are liars and cheats and scroungers and they get all the help, and then you've got all these genuine people who are victimised, treated like scroungers, and victimised as hypochondriacs or liars, and they don't get any certification, and they get misdiagnosed or flogged off or told to go away or ignored. And that's been my experience. And I've also had genuine help, but GPs are bound to refer you to another health professional in the same body of the framework of the N.H.S. So it's not necessarily individuals, it's the framework and the overseership of that framework, and the pressures that are put on doctors has an impact on what the outcome is. And when doctors don't stand up against the government injustice, it ends up being burdened on the public, and the public are victimised. Like for example, Nigel Farage spoke out about lawless Britain. Well, that's not the... Well, what does he mean by lawless Britain? Does he mean the public? Does he mean certain behaviour in the public, or does he mean the government? Well, if I was to say lawless Britain, I would say, well, it's the powers and all the behaviour. They're lawless. And the reflection of that lawlessness is the rebellious in the world who are lawless also, but that's not all the public. Not all people on benefits are scroungers. Not all people that need benefits get the help they need, and then you get all the scroungers and liars and the people who don't need it get all the help. You get a load of middle class people claiming benefits to pay their mortgage. You get other people in mental institutions, they don't get any benefits. They get a small allowance. You get people get housing benefit, state benefits, everything, and then you get other people get nothing. So there's something not right, something going on, and in my opinion and observation, it's a political game, and it's served by the media and all the opinion and dialect, and it's the carrot and the whip, and it's to whip people who genuinely need it and victimise them. It's to do harm to the reputation of our nation. And you've got the GP code of practice, where I can't remember what it's called. I forgot, it's just gone out of my mind. But the code of conduct that GPs claim that they hold to. You know, a lot of doctors and hospital staff and GPs do hold to the code of practice of that everybody's the same worth. And they always put saving life above everything. But that's not in law. That code of conduct is an individual choice. If you go to the N.H.S government website, the code of conduct is simply this, and it's in one line. You can look it up. And it is that the N.H.S is only lawfully has to provide a reasonable service. That is the law. It's not lawful for the doctors and surgeons to live the code of medical practice that's been held to for centuries by all practitioners, by all doctors and surgeons. But the N.H.S framework is that we only have to provide a reasonable service. Well, which is it then? So it's down to individual choice. So it's a lottery to where you go. So that's a division and diversion throughout the whole system. When you look at the medical training, you could be a psychopath and go through the medical school. You could be a conscientious person, a loving, caring person, go through the same school. You've got two different outcomes. Who's vetting these people? Nobody. And you've got all these foreign people, could be in somebody's pocket. And you've got good and bad there. You've got good practice and bad practice. So it's so diverse And now it's the government is sponsoring the N.H.S is sponsoring the trans drive and the D.E.I narrative. So that shows you the framework, and that has a head. That framework has a head, and that's what makes me cross about N.H.S. There's silence from the whole body, and individuals, by and large, they don't speak out against the pressures that they're put under, because they're told to shut up. They get served D notices. They don't tell you about it, and they have to behave a certain way, or they're pressured a certain way, and that affects their outcome in their professional judgment. And they're overburdened, but they never speak out against the overburden. They hold individuals to ransom, like all the nurses' strikes. They're holding people's lives to ransom, to kick back at the government. Why don't they stand up to the government without holding people and putting people's lives in danger? Because that's the soppy wetness of the cultivation of people's attitudes over the years. That would have never happened years ago. People wouldn't have, GPs and doctors and nurses wouldn't have done that to people. But look at the generation today. It's all self. And I've stood in hospitals and all they're talking about is makeup and popular culture. Yeah, gossiping and nattering, knitting. And you think, these people are caring for my loved one. And they're more interested in soap operas and celebrity gossip and their love lives, not their professional conduct and people's well-being. These are undisciplined people, a lot of piff, and that drowns out all the good people and the conscientious people and the hard-working people on the front line who take all the brunt. People don't see this. It's a wonderful N.H.S. Somewhere over the rainbow, this fantasy Wizard of Oz socialist mechanism that's exploited by the powers that be, by the government, and all these benefits. You've got all these people signed off with benefits. They've got migrants on benefits. You've got an ageing population. Where's all this money coming from? And it's been inflated on purpose. And if you really look at the criteria to be signed off work, you cannot cheat the system, because a doctor will require 2 other professional opinions before they commit to giving you a Med.4 certificate. I know, I've been through it. So how come all these people get signed off willy-nilly online, and you get other people who get told to get lost because they're scroungers? And when the social services say, "Oh, go and get help from your doctor," you go and get help from your doctor, and you get signed off, and then they call you in, and then they're treating you like you're cheating, and then they put you through this Gestapo mechanism to try and trick you back into work, to make out there's nothing wrong with you. And if you remember the N.H.S, which is a French IT company that the civil service employed to falsely claim that people were fit to go back to work, and they use these dialects. The best thing for you is to work and socialise. Well, obviously it's good to socialise and work, but if you can't work because you're so ill, working's not going to do you any good. You know, it's so patronising, as though you've never worked, or you've never done anything hard in your life, or grafted, or had to support yourself. And it's so patronising. And you listen to the news media, all these scroungers, it's cringing for people with P.T.S.D and suffering serious illness. It's like a whip, it's like a teeth, and the system has teeth, and it chews up the most vulnerable people. Always its most vulnerable people. And when they called in the N.H.S people, No conscientious practitioner would accept the role. They had to get an IT company to falsely process people to get people off benefits and back into work for political reasons. So many people, if you remember and you research this, so many people killed themselves. You cannot cheat the system unless somebody's allowing the system to be cheated, and that is the case. They misdiagnose people with ADHD, and these people get all the help in the world, get drugs and everything. My surgery was signing off, giving people repeat prescriptions of Valium, and these are all heroin addicts, and they weren't sick. They just knew what to say. They didn't go through all the tight regulations and the getting professional opinions to assert that they were ill. They just got signed off willy-nilly, just like that. And then when you're an honest person and genuine, you're treated the complete opposite. So what's going on there? Why are they playing these games? And then all the people in the media and all the opinion and the left-right paradigm that they foment. Oh, this is what you need to do. That's what you need to do. Oh, and it's a whip and a smack for the most vulnerable. And they say, oh yeah, but it's only right to help the most vulnerable. No, they're chewing up the most vulnerable. They're victimising the most vulnerable. And they're doing the opposite to people who don't deserve it, or claiming there's people that don't deserve it. Nobody really knows the true scope of the problem. And you've got all this, apparently, you've got this whole young generation of people that can't cope, and they go, oh, they're snowflakes. How do they know what they are? How do they know what these young people have suffered? I'll tell you what they've suffered. They suffered years of lies, flip-flopping around, false promises, machinations, bad media coverage, stonewashing by the media, crappy education through adults who lie. And you wonder why you've got a stunted generation of people with no heart, don't want children, don't want to grow up in this world, and they say, oh, get on your bike, get out to work, life is tough. Well, no doubt life is tough, but why make it tougher? For the sake of it. It's tough enough as it is. It's tough enough growing up in the world, watching all adults behave for children. Why make it tougher just for a feather in your cap, to lick your own lips, lick your own pride, because you've had to suffer? I doubt if you've suffered half of what some of these children have suffered and some of these people have suffered. You don't know what these people have been through. You wouldn't know if you've not experienced abuse or any abuse, any trauma in your young adult life, in your childhood, and you've been kept in that trauma, victimised in that trauma, and you don't play the victim, you are a victim. You don't know what that's like unless you've experienced it. And if you have experienced it, you know that someone else has experienced it far worse than you. And if you're finding it difficult to cope, you imagine how other people find it difficult to cope and remain on their feet and get on with their lives. It isn't possible for everybody to get on with their lives and succeed. There's not enough jobs to go around because there's too many people. And it's been picked apart, and society has been eroded. Wealth is being packing up and going. Jobs are being closed down in the name of let's fix the economy. It's subversion. It's a subverted lie to break the back of Britain and run up the debt in the name of incompetency, falsely. These people know what they're doing. Perhaps the people who get into government don't, but the people behind the government know exactly what's going on and what they're trying to achieve. And they go after they're going after the farmers, inflating the benefits bill, giving, slapping people in the face. And I think that a lot this young generation, some of them are darlings, some of them are really nice people, and I think it's really tragic what their future is. They've been scythed down in the front line before they've even got up on their feet, and they had to go through all the COVID rubbish, and that's spin and lie, and they've not apologised for that. No one's been held to account, nor any of the other misdeeds of the behaving government. These people should be individually prosecuted. There should be a law to make people accountable. And what hope is there for any future government sorting out the problem? They're either going to be under or overdo it. I feel sorry for Nigel Farage, what he's trying to take on, what he's up against, what mess he's going to be left with if he does get voted. And you've got Kemi Badenoch speaking out against the foundation of our country. Oh, I don't do Christ, I don't do God. Well, that's your choice, but are you speaking for the whole Conservative Party? Because the whole Conservative Party is founded on the King and country and God. So where's your loyalties? Who's giving you that advice? Who are your advisors? Who's pulling the strings behind the Conservative Party? The devil? You've basically undermined your chances of getting any Conservative voters on side. Oh, it's going to take time. Yeah, it's going to take a very long time, because none of you have been repentant. You've given an appearance of trying to reinvent yourself. You're just putting a new mask on, coming out with what people want to hear. And when you get into power, it's going to be the same old rubbish and lies and unable to achieve anything. It's disgusting, and that's what a generation has to suffer in the name of diversity, equity and inclusion. What about the exclusion and the unequalness and unfairness and injustice and the trumping of our laws and rights and our freedom? Robbed, undermined in the name of our rights and the law and freedom. They're liars and deceivers. And the government always play the same old machination and use the media to thrash the whip on vulnerable people and minorities, and tread on people and oppress people and keep them oppressed. They want people on benefits, but they thrash you for the privilege of it. They make life a misery for people. It's not nice being on benefits and being dependent on benefits, but you are grateful for it, but it ain't much. It's not enough to, it's only barely enough to survive. You don't eat very well. It's better than nothing. And it'd be much better to be able to earn the money yourself and have the support to get back on your feet if it's possible, and if that is available. It's not available because it's unrealistic, and it's all spin and propagated, and the government have been doing it for years. Propagate the employment figures, inflate them, and people only have to look at reality in their own experience, what it's like, and the amount of populations and the amount of job vacancies is ridiculous. What hope is there for future generations? And then the flooding of migrants. Oh, the British don't do it, they're lazy. How do you know? It's just propagated narrative that the British are lazy, they don't want the jobs, and they won't do the jobs. They don't get a chance, don't get a look in, because it's all a driven narrative. It's a political machination. And the civil service, it's what's behind it, and it's a game with a sinister motive in the name of it's good and right and it's all best for people. And then the politics is just theatre, falling over themselves among all the hard, good, conscientious people trying to make a difference. And then you get the people trying to undermine those people. It's hopeless. So they're my observations on benefits, and there's a few things to consider. All this drive by the royal family, mental health awareness, and then you go to get help and there's none available, and then you get all this inflation all of a sudden, of all these people getting all the help that's not available to other people. So I'm just asking the question, well, what's really going on? Feeling I'm not on benefits. No, I feel the sting of it. Oh, you evil people! Why are they going after? Why are they victimising vulnerable people and inflating the problem to whip people with it and stir up the public against those people to get the teeth out? You're going to throw a load of people under the bus. This is what that N.H.S done. You look up N.H.S, who they are, how the Home Office, how the civil service process got these unscrupulous people to evaluate people, whether they were genuine or not. If a doctor has put their professional expertise, sent them to another mental health professional, 2 witnesses, you've got 3 professional witnesses stating that this person's unable to work for whatever period of time, what business has the government then got to try and overthrow it and challenge it, put that person through the ringer, put the pressure on the medical profession to victimise a person who's had professionally and lawfully been signed off because they're vulnerable and they're unable to work? Why are the government then grilling those people to try and trip them up and then writing that they are fit for work with false claims and getting unscrupulous people to process them people with a half-baked questionnaire, who these people aren't even medically qualified to undo a decision by people that are qualified, and that's the government. That's the game. And then you get the contrast to that. People, all the bad people, all the unscrupulous people get everything done for them, everything paid for. What is going on there? And why isn't it investigated? And why don't the media do some proper research and put a spotlight on this, rather than fueling the whip of the government and the narrative they use? Oh, this is how you deal with it. That's how you deal with it. The carrot or the stick. What about the sympathetic ear and meeting the symptom with the appropriate action? The best thing for them is this, the best thing for that. These backseat drivers haven't got a clue, and they shouldn't speak, on a one-way media where everybody hears it and there's no opportunity to respond. You might be able to reply, but they've been spinning out this story for months. GB News have. All these benefits grounders, and they raise the question. They're just serving the agenda and narrative and the instrument of the whip for the government. Why are the government whipping people, vulnerable people? I hope these people understand their rights and the law, and they can challenge it. And they can stand up to it if they generally got a reason. And they can look at the people who are disingenuine and prosecute them. Because there's no way, in my experience, what I had to go through, you can cheat the system. Even if you're a sociopathic liar, you're not going to get through. You're not going to get it past discerning health professionals, because if they're sincere, they're usually quite sharp and discerning. And they have some understanding of what you've been through, what you're going through. But my experience is most of them, it's a process, and you're limited to a certain amount of time, and they're not interested. They just want to process you, tick a box. Oh, you've got ADHD, or you've got this. It's a predetermined diagnosis before you've even spoken, and I've experienced that. But I challenged it, so that's not right, that's wrong. That was unfair. I've been given the diagnosis before I've sat down on several occasions. I've been told what's wrong with me before I've had an examination. You go, what? And then you realise these people aren't even qualified. They're just under the wing of somebody else who is qualified, and allowing these people to practice on you. Literally practice, and they haven't got a clue. And it's a way of managing a great vast multitude of sin and problems and overburdening. So the N.H.S are guilty of standing for it, and then they put all the onus on the public, and then that puts a strain on everybody. And this is how the medical professionals react, like children. And they show their discontent through accepting all the money and putting all the onus on the practice of the effect it has on the patients, rather than saying, no, we're full up. We ain't taking all these people. We ain't taking another 1,000 load of people on our surgery. We've got enough to deal with. No, they toe the line of the government, because the N.H.S is the head of the N.H.S is the government. It's not independent. It's a socialist mechanism with teeth and gears. And if you get caught up in those gears and you complain about it, they have the mafia come out. They let the hounds out on you. Believe you me. If you look at a documentary done by Sue Townsend on a true story, I can't remember the name of this lady, and a porter chucked this lady's mother on the bed in contempt. She died, and this woman was fighting for justice for years. She had whole groups of N.H.S, because she put in a complaint. She had N.H.S staff. She had a cafeteria in a shopping centre, her and her mum. And they would gang stalk her shop to shut her up. These evil concision of people. This wasn't grassroots, this was an organised gang of N.H.S staff to intimidate her, to keep her mouth shut. And believe you me, when you challenge the N.H.S, it won't admit it's wrong. Rather than say, oh, it's wrong, no, it has to protect its reputation. It damages the reputation by concealing its malpractice. If you try to take them to court, they lie. Because there's an oversight to it. There's somebody overseeing it, managing the fallout for its reputation. It's an evil system with good intended people in it. And that's the truth. That is the sad fact. And you have to, you're reliant on it for your loved one and family. And that's why I don't trust it. I am repulsed by it because of all the experiences I've had. I know there's good people in it, but it's the overseership and the authorities up the top who pull strings and levers and force and get the people that work there to toe the line and keep their mouth shut, or they get threatened, they're out of a job, and they bury their problems. And that is the independent, private opinion of the N.H.S. also. That the N.H.S. buries their problems, literally, in the ground. And it won't have anything bad said against it, because it's blind to its own self-righteousness. It's in denial. And it's the same head who runs the benefits and all the departments. It's not independent. And that's a bad smear on the good people in it. But they are guilty for not speaking out and standing up to it. But there are those that do, but they don't get much of a voice. And then they have to put up with a load of the soppy culture. People who you go into the doctor's surgery and they're in there with all their silly little complaints for hours on end, and you get 5 minutes, in and out in 5 minutes, and treated completely differently. And they get to all their crying all their problems on the doctor's shoulder every 5 minutes. You're in there once or twice in a lifetime, and you're at the back of the queue waiting, treating like a problem. Oh, I've got 5 minutes, hurry up, what's the problem? Oh, I've got a few things. Oh, I can only deal with one thing at a time. Well, hang on, you've had 3 people in here before me, they've each had 50 odd minutes. Why do I get 5 minutes and treated like a flipping pain in the neck? It's a 2-tiered system. And it's diverse in the sort of people you get. So they're my thoughts on the benefits, and questioning, well, why are all these people being signed off willy-nilly and easily online? And then other people have to go through the flipping gauntlet, the treadmill and the wine press, and they get snuffed out. And then all you get is a media funfair and a load of propagation by these silly media anchor people like GB News and the mainstream news channels, fueling the propaganda, because that's all they are, a voice for the prop. They are the fan that blows the bubbles, that sells the soap. They're like a restaurant with a few good side dishes and a big pot of horrible reheated stew, stirring it on a daily basis, all the scum and froth around it. That's GB News. And you get a few good side dishes, but the main pot is just like scum, slop, gruel. And they're it's a shame, because they're not. So there's some good people on it. Anyway, that is my thoughts. Anybody who is feeling the teeth of this benefit stuff, if I give you a bit of my experience and advice, don't fret. If you're a believer, Bible believer, Christian, the Lord's your advocate and your physician. He'll take care of you. If you haven't got that, I'd invite you to seek the Lord, seek His salvation for the forgiveness of your sins, and believe and have faith in Him, and He will help you. You can get legal advocacy. That's what they don't provide, legal advocacy for vulnerable people. People who can have a witness to say what's really going on, how they're really treated. Because you can go into any professional, any official avenue, they treat you like a piece of dog's mess. And they write up how wonderfully they treated you. And there's no record of your not getting any treatment, getting treated really badly. And when somebody picks up the record of your experiences, it's either skewed, or you're a problem, or there's nothing to see, or you're a wonderful person, or whatever. There's no true, accurate account of your experience. And if you've not been diagnosed, there's no record that you need a diagnosis or you're suffering. And people go under the radar, and people don't want to go and trust these people, and I don't blame them. But you can get a lawful attorney. And if you've got a family who fight your corner, you want to go in with a family member. And then you've got a backup. They can't. If you are generally vulnerable, they can't throw you to the dogs. They have to treat you humanely and justly, but they don't. That's the problem. And when nobody sees it, there's no record of it, and that's lawful. And that's how the law is abused, and that's how GPs are compromised. And then you get these soft GPs who are compassionate and just sign you off. I don't blame them if they generally trust people. And then you get the liberalness and wetness, softness, overdoing it. You know, there must be a bit of that in the mix. But I think a majority of it is done on purpose. It's not by happenstance. And then the genuine people are victimised on that's whether that's got physical disabilities, because you hear the cries constantly. People with serious emotional abuse and violent and sexual abuse get treated like dirt. People with serious mental illnesses, there's no avenue for them to get help. People with physical disabilities get left in the lurch and forgotten about. And none of these people cry the victim. These people suffer it. And then you get all the people, all the other group of people that get everything, get it all gift wrapped, and a cherry on top. And here's a crackerjack pencil to go with it. It is wicked. Something really needs to look at this. Anyway, I'm going to close there. Any born again believer, don't fret if you are needy or vulnerable or feeling chewed. The Lord will take care of you and lift you and comfort you. And He's your advocate, and He'll deliver you and guide your footsteps. And I pray for my brothers and sisters in those circumstances, and I request prayers for myself, not to also get blindsided and flap about and worry about what my future might be like, and rest in the Lord and take comfort in His blessing and the lawful attorney that he affords us. So God bless you. God bless my brothers and sisters. I wish you were here. Wish I was with you in person. Please pray for my gospel tracts, and I've had a bit of a slow period. I've not been well, not been able to do much. Video camera's broken, but I decided just to give a few thoughts audibly, which I will process and post soon. Hopefully get out, tracked in and share it, witnessing. I've had problems with my neck injury, head injury, just fatigued and permanently, constantly getting tortured by the shadow powers that there's nothing to see here, by the government and the human rights and the all the hypocrisy and lies and prop that they like to portray on the media, and they're turning a blind eye. So I request your prayers, praying for my brothers and sisters, praying for the ministry, praying for the intercession, for the souls that are witness to. God bless my brothers in ministry and the Lord's service. God bless my brothers and sisters. God bless those who are vulnerable, weak, alone. Brothers and sisters, those who are not well, those who are suffering in any degree on their sick bed, in hospitals. I wish I could do more, minister. I just haven't got it in me at the moment. So I pray for the Lord's blessing and pray for encouragement for new blood, for disciples to be the Lord to raise and find and embolden and increase those new people who come unto Christ and the new generation, the saints, and encourage anybody to share the gospel, go in boldness in the not to strive but to rest in the Lord and grow in the Lord and experience those wonderful blessings of living the gospel and sharing the gospel. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful blessing, and I pray for all my brothers and sisters. Look up to my brothers and sisters. Thank God for my brothers and sisters. Thank God for the plan of salvation, for Jesus Christ, for the creation, for the life, for probation, for mankind, for our lawful system, our government, our nation. I pray for them. I pray for the right stuff among all the wickedness and wrong stuff. Pray for our King, pray for his family, pray for their souls, pray for our family, and pray for myself. So God bless, and Maranatha, in the wonderful holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen.